Hey, all my fellow horror fans, I'm David with Terrible Reviews, and if you like all things horror, make sure you hit the follow button. Now, today's movie is Scream 4. Yeah, we're starting with the fourth one. I don't make the rules, the wheel does, so we'll begin here. How does Scream 4 hold up in the series? Let's find out. Terrible Review. Alright, I have to be honest with something real quick. The last time I watched this movie was back when it came out in 2011, and I just remember not really liking it back then. However, this movie definitely aged very well and actually has potentially gotten better over time, and I'll kind of explain why as we get into the scores. So, starting off with terror, is this movie scary? Now, me personally, I don't really find the Scream movies themselves to be that scary, but for a normal person that doesn't really watch horror too much, it does have a lot of like psychological thriller aspects of it, as well as, of course, it's a slasher movie, so it shows a lot of stabbing on screen and like physical stabbing. So I can see instances where this movie can be scary. So I will give this one a 3 out of 5 for that reason. While I don't personally find it too scary, I can definitely see what other people might find scary with these movies. But it is the same formula, of course, of the other Scream movies, but just changed slightly here and there. Onto the gore. Now, the special effects in this movie are done really well. This has a CG knife, and you will never be able to tell, at least I wasn't able to tell, that they're using a CG knife because Wes Craven wanted to move away from rubber props this time. So, for most of the movie, it is a CG knife, and you won't be able to tell, so don't even worry about it. As far as like practical effects, there is a ton of blood in this movie. If you've ever liked seeing blood, you're gonna love this movie. If you don't like seeing blood, you're gonna hate this movie because there's a lot of blood. There's one scene in particular that has our only like real like practical effects, and as far as like blood and guts go, and that scene has enough blood in it that it could be taken out of the Terrifier movie. They just don't show like the bloody part of the kill, but the aftermath itself is very well done. There's some like actual guts and stuff that they show, which is not very typical of a Scream movie in my opinion. But it looked great. All the blood looked great. I wish that they would have shown like more of the kills other than stabbing, but I mean that's just what Scream is a slasher who stabs people. Like that's not really changing as far as I can see. I mean, there is some shootings going on, but other than that, there's not really that many opportunities for extreme gore other than him wanting to gut everyone. But they don't show it too often. So I appreciate the one scene that they did give us in this one, and I will give the gore a 4 out of 5. Now, onto the story, and this is the best part of good Scream movies, is going to be the story. And I think this is where this movie excelled, at least in hindsight. And that has a lot to do with, this one is the trope being like played upon is remakes, and that's what they bring up a lot in this. There was a lot of remakes coming out back in the time. I know for sure like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and stuff were having their remakes back in the 2000s. And like after Scream 3 ended until we got this one, that was pretty much the entire 2000s was like remakes or like late sequels. So they definitely played on that a lot, and that worked, of course. The characters were great. We got a lot of returning cast. We got Sydney back. We got Dewey, and I like the characters development that they gave all the returning cast. Especially Dewey. He really stood out in this movie. He actually like got to do things instead of just being on the victim side of things for once. So that was nice to see. And then all the new characters were pretty decent. I honestly didn't like the male characters as much, but the female characters and their actresses did an amazing job. They all did great. My only gripe with the characters in this movie are that one in particular that ends up being one of the killers. I'm not going to spoil it here, but just meeting her from the beginning of the movie, I instantly knew that she was one of the killers. I mean, that gave it away a little bit, but I mean, I immediately knew which one of them was one of the killers. The other one I didn't really know until the end when they reveal it, because they do a lot of like the old fake outs as Scream movies go, but they couldn't fake me out of that one. I had her locked in immediately, so I wish that was written a little bit better, but other than that, this is the last Wes Craven movie. Rest in peace, Wes Craven. I'm really sad that we didn't get any more Scream movies by Wes Craven or any more horror franchises after he passed away. So that really sucks, but this movie definitely was one of his great movies, and I have to give the story a 4 out of 5 for this one. And lastly, is this movie fun? I would have to say it is extremely fun. It gives you a lot of great things. There's a lot of great Ghostface chases in this movie, which is becoming a rarity evidently, but the chases in this one are very entertaining. The kills are very entertaining. The actors themselves were very entertaining. All around, I had a great time with this one. I will give it a 5 out of 5 for fun. Was Scream 4 terrifying or terrible? I'd have to say it was pretty terrifying. Have you seen Scream 4? If you have, let me know what you thought in the comments below. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.